think we're moving already. You can adjust it. An incredible sermon. Yeah. It will be one that will be studied, I think. It was brilliant. And a huge audience. What an audience, worldwide audience for this. Incredibly. I'm very impressed. Am I in the light, or because I don't know my as far as
Yes, already you are in the light.
I can move back. I think maybe because the position of the seat's different. Back a little bit. We're still getting used to. Oh, it's the mic stand. I think that's probably better there. Yeah. I have a stack of books today. We'll see. We'll see what we get to. What's that?
Is there a new topic?
No, it will. Is every week a new topic?
Yeah, I think it's good.
Oh, that's it. Okay. We can chant together. Om Mangalam Gurudevaya Devyam Atriksha Mangalam Mangalam Bhakta Vrindebhyo Sarva Lokaya Mangalam Om Stapakaya Chadharmasya Sarva Dharma Sarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishnaya Mangalam Om Sarashiva Samarambam Shankarachara Majamam Ashmarachara Prayantam Vande Gurum Paramparam Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Devo Param Brahman Tasmai Sri Guru Namaha So continuing in our discussions on kind of a bird's eye view, introduction to the Kali Puja, the puja that we're doing here daily, monthly. We're kind of going through a little bit the simple Kali Puja book as well as our more elaborate puja. We're using the more elaborate puja to show more details. But I think, where are we in this? We did the Asanas. What did we do last time? We did Bhumi Shuddhi and Asana Stapana, the purification of the earth and the establishment of the seat. In the small book, it's simply all that's kind of joined in the establishment of the seat on page 11. And then it jumps to Pushpa Shuddhi, purification of the flowers. But in the larger book, there's a few more details that are done before Pushpa Shuddhi. Yes. And so one of our friends, he mentioned he watched the class. He watched last week's class. He said, "Oh, I wish you would have mentioned this." So I'll cover I'll backtrack a little bit, because we were talking a little bit about purification. Actually, no, we're talking a lot about purification. This whole section is purification. All these page after page is going to be purification of the obstacles, purification of the hand, purification of the flowers, purification of earthly obstacles, purification of heavenly obstacles, self-purification of the body, purification of the alphabet. So it seems to be a big thing. And we mentioned last week a little bit some difference between cleanliness and hygiene, and then purity and ritual purity. And so a simple one of the, we talked a lot about cleaning, purity of place, bathing, to being physically pure like that. And what Zoran mentioned that we about the different types of baths. It's an interesting little sub thing. Let me find here. So usually we think that's like the most common thing. If something is dirty, you wash it clean. And we're dirty, we take a bath. So the bath with water, that's the most common. Both we ourselves, we take a bath. And if we wash something, we also use water to bathe it, to purify it. And generally, our general rule, anything that can be washed, we wash. That's usually a good sign. So fruit comes, we wash the fruit. The flowers come, we wash the flowers. Right? Yeah. But still, there's more purification that happens even further. So one of the purification by water, or bathing by water. The word for water, the deity for water, is Varuna. Right, so Varuna Snan, right? This is bathing in water. That's an obvious type of thing. Varuna Snan. There's also Manasika Snan, mental bath. And Manasa, of course, one thing you can imagine yourself. You can imagine bathing in your mind, but Manasika Snan literally means bathing with mantras, the type of mantra Snan. And so even like we do Apavitra, the first mantra from the whole book, Apavitra Pavitrova Sarva Vastam Gatopiva. Right, that is a certain sense. We're using a mantra to take a bath, right, and put in the mind there. And very elaborate pujas. There's another set of things we do. We actually take 2 fingers and dip it in water, and we sprinkle ourselves, chanting mantras. That's a very common form of Manasika Snan. So there's different Vaishnava forms, and the tantric forms. There's one kind of a Vedic tantric form mixture. So Om Bhuvaha Punantu Shirasihi, Om Bhuvaha Punantu Netrayaho, Om Swaha. There's ways of sprinkling, touching your body with different things, and sprinkling your head with different mantras. Right? This is a way of bathing. If you can't take a full bath, this is another way of bathing. Right? There's so many types. But it's said that for puja, like there's many ways to bathe, but for puja you shouldn't avoid. It's not an excuse not to bathe. It's not an excuse not to wash something, right? Especially in doing puja, one should be bathed, and when cooking for the deity, when cooking bhog, right? Then you should take a full bath. So not just something we do. We grab the Ganga water. Vishnu Jai Ganga. Thakur said that Ganga purifies everything. So we have faith like this, right? But that's not an excuse to be properly clean, properly bathed. Other topic that I remembered we could have mentioned last week that we didn't once we had finished already. So we were talking about the establishment of the seat, and we went into a lot of symbolic and esoteric details about what the seat was and the earth element. But purification or establishing the asana is also literally the place you sit and the cloth you sit on. And so I mentioned, there's also different types of asanas, right? And different asanas made of different materials have a different effect, believed to have a different effect. And certain products, certain items are considered by their very nature clean, and also not only are therefore pure, but also purifying. So the most common one we think about is this kushasan, kusha grass. Kusha grass itself, anything it touches becomes clean. Anything, it also has the quality of being like a opposite of a conductor. It's an insulator. Thank you, insulator. Right? You put you're not affected by the environment that you sit on. We mentioned last week that you're in a dirty place, you put your asana, at least you're clean, right? In a dirty place, right? So similarly, the Kushasana has that quality, but Kushasana it insulates, and also it's believed that when yogis are doing spiritual practice, they create a energetic charge in a certain sense, an upward moving current. And like when if you're magnetically charged, electronically charged, and you touch something, you ground. Right, so this is believed not that to stop a certain grounding quality, right? So the energy that you're generating, the sad, so your sad and the shakti, and like that is not immediately fitted away. So that's another benefit. But it also the thing that anything it touches becomes pure. We use a little switch of kusha grass. You sprinkle something with kusha grass, it becomes clean. If you we make a pavitra ring, a ring made of kusha grass, that everything we touch with that kusha grass, the hands become pure, and everything we touch becomes pure, right? There's an ancient story where, let me see if I get it right from Mahabharat, that Garuda and who's the king of snakes? Is it Vasuki? Not Shesha, Tattaka, I think. Maybe I'm forgetting. There's a couple. I'm not sure if it's maybe it's Vasuki Nag, maybe Vasuki Nag, probably Vasuki Nag, where they're actually in the story, they're brothers. And they're both, the mother, I'm forgetting the mother's name, but the mother had laid, in a certain sense, both eggs, right? Both the king of snakes and the king of birds, the eagle and the snake, right? And out of impatience, she decides, I want this, why aren't they being born? She became impatient and cracked one and brought one out sooner. That was Vasuki, the Naga, right? And so, and then later, Garuda came out, right? So there may be, I'm not going to superimpose ancient knowledge of evolution, right? But also, in a certain sense, a bird is a further evolution of reptiles. That we believe that. It's believed, it's considered that the scales became feathers like that, but Vasuki became so infuriated with his mother that now his brother gets to fly everywhere, and he has to crawl on the ground. Not only what do eagles do? They eat snakes, right? On top, so the rift between the brothers goes pretty deep, and so he enslaves his mother, right? And so Garuda, once he's thinking, how do I free my mothers from this enslavement? And so Vasuki Nag, he says, if the gods and the demons, they churned the ocean recently. And from that, this pot of amrita came. You bring the amrita, you put it in front of me. The second you give me the amrita, our mother's soul is free. You can have her. She's free. And so Garuda goes and he fights. Please forgive me, I forget if he fights Vishnu, probably doesn't fight Vishnu, but he fights most likely Indra, and wins. Whoever he fights, he wins, and he takes the pot of nectar to the snakes. And Indra, or whatever god he fought, runs after him, flying. He says, you're quite amazing. Nobody can win me or win Vishnu in battle. Maybe you won. I think it made me win Vishnu. I think if I remember the story right. It was a long time ago that I read the story, in Berkeley days. So forgive me if I get a little bit jumbled, but the point will be there. And so and so Garuda is saying, one snake, my brother enslaved my mother, and if I bring the nectar, then she'll be free. He says, okay, what was the words? What's the deal? What's the contract? The second I put it down, then my mother's soul is free. She's free from that bondage, from her slavery. And so he said, okay, you put it down, and because the snakes can't have nectar. Gods get nectar. That not every, it's not part of the deal, the way nature, not the rhythm of everything, right? So as soon as you put it down, I shall come and take it. And then you will satisfy the requirement for your mother, and I will satisfy the requirement of snakes not being immortal, right? Other creatures not being immortal. I said, okay. So when Garuda is coming with this picture of nectar, the snakes are, where do we put it? So they get some grass. There's some hay, some grass, some dried grass there. So that they put that down as an asana, some respectful place to put this treasure, right? But they don't have much, really good like that. And so they put the Amrita down. Garuda puts the Amrita down, and immediately Indra or Vishnu comes and steals it, and it's gone, right? And the snakes freak out, right? And they run and start licking the place where the Amrita was put, right? And it says in the Mahabharata that this is one of the reasons that they have a split tongue, right? The source myth for that is a split tongue. They cut it on the sharp edges of the kusha grass. Yeah. But because the Amrita had touched the kusha grass, right? The kusha grass now has a quality of nectar. This purest of all substance now, by it's touched it, so it also became pure. Kusha grass has this, because since that time it's pure and purifying, right? And because the kusha grass had touched the nectar, and the snakes had touched the kusha grass, right? This pure thing. They also got some of the quality in the story of this nectar of immortality. They became like immortal, right? So the idea that snakes are born again and again, they die and then they come out of their skin again and again, right? So, and the view, it's not exactly a biologically perfect, accurate statement, but it's a mythological view of saying that snakes don't die. Snakes are like immortal. They keep being reborn and reborn and reborn, right? Unless you kill them. If you kill a snake, that's when the snake dies. It's like the devas. The devas don't die, but they can be killed. They don't die naturally because of the Amrita, right? And so, actually, this is why the snake is a great symbol of many things, of Kundalini and like this, right? But it's considered a very, very serious crime to kill a snake, right? Actually, people who are suffering, and it seems now people are suffering in their life, they go to an astrologer and they'll find, you have this Sarpadasha, they call it, right? Nagadosha, yeah. And many times we'll find in front of Shiva or in a little box two little silver snakes, and somebody's doing some rectification. They have like that. And usually, if they find this in the chart, right? They say, in a past life you killed a snake. It's a curse of a snake, right? And that follows you, right? Because it's like the idea that the snake it's like to kill anything is bad. But we're going to die in a few years anyways. It interrupts our progress a little bit, right? There may be a violent break if you kill something or we get killed, right? But a snake's supposed to last life. I mean, they're eternal. Not really, but they're eternal. And if you kill it, you really have done a great crime, right? It's very interesting. I know people who that snakes chase them everywhere they go. All the time they're being bothered by snakes, and other people like. The snakes, they never see a snake. If they see a snake, the snake never bothers them, right? And interesting enough, when it's looked into it, I don't know much about Jyotish and astrology, but this is that those who are being bothered by snakes in past life, they killed the snake. They can see they have this in their chart. In their past life, believe that they killed the snake. Snakes don't forget.
But in this life, if by mistake we kill them.
Yes. So what we do, so that's the thing, is like when a snake is killed consciously, then there's no rectification for it. If it's killed accidentally, sometimes people run over a snake like this, or a lizard like that, then there's rectifications that are done, right? It says in there's a thing called the Surya Vrat, Chandra Vrat. It's a very fierce. I don't want to tell everybody what it is. It's not an easy vrat to do, but you start on the full moon. And that day you take 15 handfuls of food. And the next day you take, now it's one day digit now, you take 14 handfuls of food, 13 handfuls of food. Like this until the new moon, you eat nothing. And the next day you eat one handful. And so that 1 month of this extreme of reducing your food and increasing your food, right, that removes the accidental sin, the result of an accidentally killing a snake. Interesting. There are things like that are done. There's also other things, but this is one I know it's mentioned in the Shastra.
In southern India, there is a place called Kukke Subramanya. People go there and perform
specifically for this purpose. Yeah. There's rites like that. And I know like somebody where a snake was accidentally killed in the temple, and they did days of rituals and to purify the snake and to cremate it was all high honors of a brahmana. Like trying to, there's a lot of symbolism to it. Also, it's a symbol of the Divine Mother, of Shakti, of Shiva. There's so many things to it. We won't go. That's a different topic.
And even if you burn, the pair will follow you.
Yeah, something like this. So it's something. So that's one. So Kusha, back to Kushasana. So this is one of the reasons. This is a source not only of snakes and not killing snakes and offering silver snakes temples, is the source of this purifying grass. So the seat of that asana is considered very purifying, right? And it's mentioned throughout the shastras that actually when like King Prithu was so pious, right, that the entire land was covered with kusha grass, with their points pointing towards the north, whatever the way it's usually pointed. What that means by saying that the whole land, his whole kingdom was covered in kusha grass, means everywhere the people are doing yagyas, because that's the seat for a yagya, right? And Krishna also says in the Gita, what should be the seat of a yogi, right? First, you find a place that's clean and secluded and peaceful and beautiful, right? And it shouldn't be too high or too low. And then on top of that, you spread a cloth. And then, first you put your mrigasana, a deer skin. On top of that, you put kusha grass. On top of that, you put a clean cloth. Then taking the seat on that with the back, head, and neck held straight, think upon me like this. This is the instruction of Krishna in the Gita. So kushasana is there, and mrigasana is there, this deer skin. Mrigasana also has a very ancient connection. It's a symbolic connection. There's many things. It's believed to have an energetic quality. And a little bit magical thinking where something takes on the quality by association, like a deer. What's a deer? A deer is fickle. Deer is, you've seen a deer, right? So Shiva holds. Sometimes you see images of Shiva holding a deer, or sometimes you see him at least in this mudra, Mrig mudra. Sometimes you hear him holding the deer, or sometimes in Mrig mudra. That means he holds the mind still. Right now, of course, that's not how do we hold the mind still by killing a deer. That's not the point, right? But the deer, but having the deer itself, by him wearing a deer, sitting on a deer, holding a deer, having the symbol of the deer, means that the mind is held still. You'll see a lot of Buddhist gates. There'll be like the wheel of Dharma over the gate, and there'll be two deers. Buddha himself spoke his first sermon in the deer like this in a deer park, right? But they're showing that the deers are still focused, but the mind is completely focused on the Dharma wheel. On meditation. So this is one of the symbols. And so it says that the mrigasana especially has a quality of making the mind calm. Right? There's other asanas people use, right? There's like what's the other one that yogis, Shiva also wears a tiger asana, right? Tiger skin, right? Bagambari is one name of Shiva, right? He wears a tiger skin. And there's a whole story on how that comes. There was a great sacrifice, and Shiva came to disrupt it, and by material, and it's a very good story, but I won't tell it because I'll never get to the puja, right? It's a good story. We'll tell it another time, right? But the point is that they pull out of the fire, they pull out a tiger and throw it at him, and Shiva skins a tiger and puts it around his waist. Okay, if you don't like me being naked in front of you, I'll use, And so it has many things. The tiger has been interpreted also being this ferocious quality, this animalistic, the most fierce type of quality, right? Full rajas like that. Shiva wears it or sits on it, right? By sitting on the tiger, he sits. And also the idea of sitting on a deer, or sitting on a tiger skin, sitting on something, you're also like pinning it down, And it has the quality of being. So the deer skin is used by yogis and bhaktas, right? Tiger skin's used by tantrics because they want a certain type of. It gives power. It's a rajasic type of shakti, so it's used to attain mantra siddhi and kundalini awakening, this type of thing. It's a different conception, different motivation like that. Then it says some people sit on wood, some people sit on bamboo, right? In the Guru Gita, there's a whole, at the end of Guru Gita, I think it mentions chanting Guru Gita, sitting on different types of asanas, right? In the Palstuti area. And so I'm not sure if it's mentioned there, if you sit on black cloth, on red cloth, on yellow cloth, on different types of, on wood, on skin. I forget, it's been a long time since I read those verses. But there's one that says that if you sit on bamboo, right, then you become poor. Right? The result of sitting on bamboo is poverty. Right? So maybe, I'm just saying, but they believe it that the thing has these are subtle effect. And it could be that type of asana has an effect to create that result. Or it could be that what you want, you find the proper asana, right? If you're trying to do something, I want to get power. I want to control my enemies. Well, then you need, this is the mantra, this is the sadhana, this is the asana, this is the time and place you do it. Everything has its own vidya, its own science, its own tradition, its own like this, right? So for yogis, the science is kushasana, mrigasana. And then the question is, well, what about why are you killing animals? Like that's another issue, right? Swami Shivananda says ideally the animal should not be hunted, should not be killed in the normal way. But also in the ancient times, there were, I mean, not everyone's a yogi, not everyone's a Brahmin, not everyone's a sadhu, a sannyasi or pujari, like this, right? And so in the forest, there's hunters. Just like in here, there's people who do all kinds of jobs, right? And some of the results of what they do, they try to purify themselves by doing some seva, and they're giving skin to the yogis and brahmanas like this. It's not being hunted for them, but ideally it said it should be that they die in natural causes. Now what does that mean? Who knows? You know, but you see now we think of it. Doesn't seem to be an auspicious. We don't want to be part of an economy of violence, right? And use that for our meditation, right? I remember I was talking to my guru by Swami Paramananda. And you know, we're up in Colorado in his ashram, high in the Himalayas of the Colorado Mountains, the northern Himalayas. And I was saying, so here there's a lot, you know, because I know one of my friends gave me my first Mrigasana. It was from roadkill, right? So something that killed. So it's also very violent, also killed by man, not hunted for me, but it's almost a worse. You can't get a more worse type of death, right? But he has a friend that in traditional ways skins and knows that science, and it was given. That was my first. So I was asking the Swamiji, my Guru Bhai, you know anything like that happened? Is there anything available? I was trying to think how to do it. He says, I was trying to weasel my way. I wanted a deer skin without getting a deer skin. You know, we don't want to be part of the karmic economy. You know, naturally, we were trying to do it. Right? He says, it's traditional. That was his answer. That was his, like, yogis use this. Right, you know, it's like, and that was his point. You know, don't use it. I mean, I don't use it. You don't use it. I don't care about these things. It doesn't help me study Vedanta in the least bit. Right, but whatever it is, so maybe that's the answer. These are traditional things. This is the way things were done. So they have meaning, traditional meaning. We believe they have actual, like astral, and they're connected, and they have this result. It's hard to make a good argument on how sitting on this type of thing will lead to. You chant your mantra on the wrong type of seat, you'll get poor instead of holy. It's probably not true, you know. I mean, it's hard to justify like that. But it also is that sign that everything has meaning. Every sadhana has its own vidya, its own tradition, its own science, right? So in puja, it's you know, proper asana, purifying, you know, like this. If you're doing some different types of tantric sadhana, then it requires different types of asanas, like this. That was the 2 points. See, took me 34 minutes to get to. Okay. Verse 1, so called Guru Pranama, salutation of the Gurus. And so this is, in the puja, you maybe have seen somebody do, we kind of reach to one side, and we salute above the ear, and each time we move up, and we do the next mantra, we move up, and we also move our hand up, a little higher up the head, a little higher up the head, a little higher up. So it's like, Om Aim Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha, Om Aim Parama Guru Bhyo Namaha, Om Aim Parampara Guru Bhyo Namaha, Om Aim Paramishta Guru Bhyo Namaha. Om Gam Ganeshaya Namaha. There's mantras like this, right? So this is the Guru Pranam section. Now, Guru Puja, the very first mantra is Om Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha Hari. We start with Guru, right? And later, the first puja, the actual little puja we're doing, either you start with Ganesha, we start with Guru. We do Guru, then Ganesha, and other deities like this. So there'll be a little Guru Puja as part of the puja. We always done like this. But this is independent of our opening mantra to the Guru and the little Guru Puja, the first puja that we'll offer is to the Guru. This is a special invocation of the lineage and of the lineage of Gurus, right? So and the idea is that the Gurus are in a row, right? That's why they're kind of saluted one after another, right? And you can see very often, like you go to a Hare Krishna temple, they have the lineage of Gurus. Right, you know, Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and you know, it moves like this, right? If you go to an SRF, they have the lineage of gurus, right? So it's a very common thing. Usually, the tradition is you remember. It says in puja and sadhana daily, you remember 4 gurus. You remember your guru, your guru's guru, your guru's guru's guru, and your guru's 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 guru. Your guru, grandfather, grand guru, great grand guru, and great grand guru. That's a simple way of thinking, right? That daily you should at least And there's an interesting little scene in Swami Paramananda, our Guru Bhai. He helped translate a book our Guruji wrote about his Guru, about Yogi Raj Handiya Baba. And in it, he in the introduction, he wrote he's a brilliant thinker and brilliant writer. In the introduction, he says, we salute Swami Yogananda Saraswati, that was the Guru of Handiya Baba. And Yogi Raj Handiya Baba, Swami Hridayana Saraswati, and my guru, Swami Bhajanananda Saraswati. He goes that he mentions, but he only mentioned 3. Because that's all we know. Right after that, because these are wandering sadhus, we don't have books of lists like this. There's Naga Babas that can recite 1,000 generations, 100 generations. That's their tradition. We're not trained like that. We don't have that knowledge. Right? But then he said, I salute my guru, and his guru. And the ancient, unbroken lineage of gurus. Right? And then the great emotional line I love very much. He says, whose names may have been forgotten, but whose teachings have been transmitted. That's the science. We may not remember their names. We should remember their names. Imagine if you don't I remember my mom and dad's name. I remember my grandfather's name. I think I maybe know one of my great-grandparents' name. My great-great-grandparents' name I don't know. So that's a very weird situation, right? That we live such a life that our grandchildren won't remember our names. This is something. There's a thing actually that one of the things when I tell you when we do this snan, mantra snan, where you take water with these 2 fingers. These 2 fingers have an astrological meaning. I'm not going to go into each finger has a different planet and like that. But this brings fame, wealth and fame. Now it's weird in the beginning of the puja you're trying to do for wealth and fame. What's wealth? You need enough wealth to perform your sadhana and like this. And what's fame? Fame's not name and fame. I want to be famous and like this. It means you do something worthy to be remembered, right? It's like our own we don't remember our grandparents' names, right? It's not, maybe it's not their fault. Maybe it's our fault, right? Maybe they did something to be remembered. But there's some people whose name, Jesus, 2,000 years later, people still you can't get away from his name. You can't avoid his name. Everywhere you go, it's his name. Or he lived such a life that he had a tremendous impact on us. Not he wasn't trying. I don't think he was trying for name and fame, right? But the effect he has for Ramakrishna, his name's not been forgotten, right? It probably won't be for 1,000 years. Krishna, 5,000 years ago, his name still in this town. Here tonight, we'll sing his name. There's people remembering singing his name so many years later. Such great lives, right? So we remember. We should try to remember at least 4 our gurus, but each one has a little different. So, Guru Bhyo means more than one. So Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha. So our gurus. So it's not just our guru and our guru's guru and our guru's guru's guru and our guru's guru. It's our gurus and our guru's gurus, right? You're gonna get there. So it's like we don't just have one guru. We have so many teachers, right? We have the gurus. Usually we consider the person who gives us our mantra. We have some idea what that means of guru, but sometimes we have a sannyas guru if we become sannyasis, right? Our parents are our gurus. The one we learn the Vedas from is our guru. The one we learn, the person who teaches us dancing is our guru. The person who teaches us raga is our guru. There's different types of gurus, right? And all of them are given proper respect. So when we remember the guru, remember all the gurus, right? Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Parama Guru Bhyo Namaha means, para means other, the beyond. Right, it means supreme also, but this not in this particular. It means a guru means grand, like a grandfather, the one beyond. So our guru and the guru's guru. Om Parampara Guru, Parampara. That means beyond, but Parampara also means lineage, the beyond lineage. So the lineage of gurus. So that third one is also the guru's guru, or the lineage of guru, the Parampara Guru Bhyo Namaha. Right, and then Paramishti is also. It means the guru's guru, but it also means the original guru, the source guru, right? The one that it all comes from, right? So sometimes we think of the representative of the source is some great guru of the past, right? So if you like when we're walking, I'm walking with Guruji Swami Bhajanananda, and somebody starts talking to him. He says, "Oh, where is Babaji? Where are you? Oh, we have the ashram." And he says, "Oh, Handiya Baba Sampradaya. We're in the lineage of Handiya Baba." He doesn't mention I'm the head of the guru or Swami Vishnudevananda, because in town the source guru, he represents the source, right? Did you would say, oh, you're Nityananda's line. Nityananda was not the first one. He had a guru and he had a guru and he had a guru, but we don't remember them. Maybe we do remember them. You say, oh, we're in the Nityananda's lineage, or we're in Ramakrishna's lineage. Ramakrishna had many gurus. They all had gurus. They all had gurus. They all had gurus, right? When we think, oh, we're in Ramakrishna, we're in the tradition of Ramakrishna. We don't mention, oh, we're actually coming from Totapuri or from Totapuri's guru or Bhairavi, and Bhairavi, who knows who Bhairavi? We don't even know who Bhairavi's guru is. Maybe we do. I don't know who Bhairavi's guru is. Or the person Thakur got in his diksha from, or his father's got his, these type of things. We think, so sometimes the guru's guru represents the source. As a personality, he represents the source. But also mean there is a source. Right? Like in Junakara, we think, our Paramishti Guru is Dattatreya. Right? He's an ancient, he's a mythological character. He's an ancient time, prehistory. You can't talk who he was and when he was. We know in ancient historical time there was an ancient tradition of a mystical prehistoric yogi. Right? Prehistoric means it's not you can't talk history about him. Right? Prehistoric yogi. We can talk history of how his cult developed, including Junakara. And so many lineages consider him to be the Paramishti Guru. Actually, most Tantra is coming from Dattatreya. Sannyas is coming from Dattatreya. The Nath yogis are coming from Hatha Yoga comes from Dattatreya. Right? So many different lineages claim him. Right? But Dattatreya, who's Dattatreya? He had three. He's the son of these ancient yogis, rishis. He had 3 heads. It's like, okay, so you're talking about a prehistoric person with 3 heads. So you have to be careful how you present the historical person with 3 heads, right? So it represents something also, whoever he was, right? He represents something very deep. We say Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara. The Guru is Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, right? And he's the supreme Brahman beyond. Param Brahman, Tasmai Shiva. So Dattatreya is the embodiment of the Trimurti, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, and the Supreme Brahman. We use the same mantras for him, right? Or you could say, or often we say Dakshinamurti Gurubhyo Namaha. So Dakshinamurti is the original Guru. We can say like that. Or he's Shiva himself as Guru. That's Dakshinamurti, right? So who's Dakshinamurti's Guru? Even Dakshinamurti. It says in the opening verses of the Guru Gita, right? Shiva is meditating, and somebody walks by. And Shiva bows. And Parvati goes, you're God. Who are you bowing to? Oh, I'm bowing to my Guru. He says, but you're the Guru of everybody. That Guru he's bowing to is himself as Dakshinamurti. Even Shiva bows to his Guru. Dakshinamurti is a mysterious, it's another whole other talk also, but he's God as Guru. Right? I sometimes think Dakshinamurti is God as Guru, we call Dakshinamurti, the symbol of Guru. God as Yogi, we call Dattatreya. Right? The same, are they two different? I mean, at this level, you can't talk them as separate things, right? We're in the lineage of Shankaracharya, right? Shankaracharya had a guru, and he put together lineages of all kinds of lineages. It says he put together so many lineages, hundreds of lineages, right? So it's not so the Guru Bhyo, the more than one guru, it represents, and the Paramishti Guru is whoever or God is the ultimate Guru. God is Paramishti Guru. But there's a verse which I like very much. Let me find my book. Chat. I think this verse is very significant. See if I can. Of course, I had it marked for last week's talk, which I didn't get to, but I think it's here. So this question, Devi is asking Lord Shiva in Mahabharat Tantra. Mahabharat Tantra is a beautiful. I like this book, this text very much, because it's what we consider a late tantra, right? The tantras are complicated, vast, and but when you grab any of the tantras, they're developing traditions, right? Mahabharat Tantra is a fairly it's brought together a lot of the tantric age kind of blooms with Mahabharat Tantra. So it's very mature. All these points that are kind of weird and mysterious, and not fully developed and not understandable in the tantras. By the time the Mahabharat Tantra, Shiva says, "Oh, this is exactly what it means. It's very clear what it means." So we get a kind of like the fruition of the tantra tradition in Mahabharat Tantra, right? So who is Guru? Who is Guru? Who is Parama Guru? Who is Paramishti? Who is Parampara Guru? Parampara Guru, and who is Paramishti Guru? He says, Mantra Datam Guru Proktaha. Right? The one who gives the mantra is the Guru. Holy Mother said the same thing. People say, oh, I'm a disciple of, I received Diksha from Brahmananda, Swami Brahmananda, but then I see my Brahmacharya from Videshwarananda and my sannyas from, something like that. So of course, they're all, one is your brahmachari guru, one is your sannyas guru, but the one who gave the mantra is the guru. We said that Holy Mother said, oh, the one who gives the mantra, this is almost identical statement, right? Mantra data guru prokta. The one who gives the mantra is the guru, right? So what is parama guru, right? So parama means better than the guru, right? Beyond the guru, higher than the guru, right? So what is the parama? So parama mantranam parama guru. The mantra itself is the param guru, right? Not our guru's guru. The guru is the one who gives the mantra, but the mantra is better than the guru is the mantra. If I give you $100, you can say, "Oh, Swami, you gave me $100." The $100 made you. The money is the thing. I get my value because I gave you something, right? So that the one who gives the mantra is so valuable because he gives the mantra. That means the mantra is more valuable, right? But sometimes we can't separate it because we can't separate the giver and the gift. They're the same thing. To use Bodo Guruji's language, he said, and it's true, he says, imagine you're a poor student. I didn't have to imagine, I was a poor student. Right? Imagine you're a poor student, and I give you one check. The President of the United States gives you one check. It says $1 million and gives you. Now you're a millionaire, right? So who made you a millionaire? Right? In one sense, the check made you a millionaire, but he made you a millionaire. They're so connected. They're the same thing. But between the giver and the gift, the giver of the gift gets value because of the gift that he gives, right? So guru is the one who gives the mantra, and parama guru is the mantra itself. And so guru means teacher, right? So the teacher is the one who teaches you the mantra, but it's like if I'm giving you the teachings on puja, right? So that I have some value for that, like that. But the teachings on puja are the ones teaching you, not me. You see how that means? It's the thing. It's high. It's more guru than the guru is the mantra that the guru gives, or the mantras. Could also the mantra is not just the mantra that we get in Diksha, but the mantras are the teachings and the slokas, and like they can be by extension like that also. The scriptural tradition itself, but usually it's understood as a guru. Mantra data guru prokta mantranam parama guru para guru tvam hi parat para, and better than that. Better than guru is great. The mantra, which is greater, what's better than the mantra? Para, right? It says para guru tvam hi. The para guru is you, meaning Parvati, meaning Devi. So the Divine Mother herself is higher than the guru is the mantra. Higher than the mantra is a Devi, because this is a Devi text for starters. We have to assume like this, right? But that means that the mantra is so wonderful. Why? Because it's the Devi, right? It's the one to point. So it's like the one who gives you the money is great. The money is great, but the money is not itself something. It buys something. It holds something. Represents something, right? The value. So she's the Shakti behind everything. That is the one that the mantra points to, or the one that the mantra embodies, is Parampara Guru. The higher than the Guru, higher than the mantra, is she whom the mantra names, right? And she's not different from the mantra. Just like the giver of the gift is not different from the gift, right? The giver of the money is not different from the money, and the money is not different than the money is also not different what it buys and what it represents, the value that it represents. Right, we've mentioned that Swami Bhajanananda gave a very nice talk in Washington D.C., and he says that you use clay to make letters that spell out the word clay. Right, the word clay is pointing to clay itself, and it's made of clay itself. So the mantra is the Devi herself. It points to the Devi. It says Devi. The mantra for Kali has the word Kali in it. The mantra for Shiva has the word Shiva in it. It points to it's a name, points to something, but it is the thing it points to, right? So it's even more guru than the guru in the mantra is the Devi herself. So Paramishti Guru. Who is the Paramishti Guru? Paramishti Guru Tva Aham. Right. But the supreme, the original, the source, Aham, me. That's Shiva himself speaking. Right, and beyond even the one to point to is the supreme reality, the base of everything, right? And then also this is, we can understand that this is Shiva speaking. So the one who gives you the mantra is the guru. The mantra itself is more gurus than the guru, greater than guru, beyond that. You, the one the guru points to, and me, the spiritual conscience behind everything, so is the source. I am the source of everything, the ultimate object and source. Right? But we can also take this a little bit carefully, but the tantras allow this type of interpretation as a secondary interpretation. As yogis, what is it? Oh, the one who gives the mantra is the guru. The mantra is the parama guru. And when Shiva says, Tvam, you, this means this. Right? The manifested world is also, this is Devi's Rupa, this is Devi's Leela, this is Devi's Rupa. Right? The manifested world in which all sound comes from, and therefore the mantra comes from. Everything is, the manifestation is the Parampara Guru. Right? And then Aham, with Shiva, we say Aham. Not Swami Bhajanananda, but the real Aham. Within the I is a real I, the actual self of everything. That is the Paramishti Guru. So this is one, it's a brilliant, so much is put into one simple sloka. I'll read it again. Mantra datam guru proktaha mantranam parama guru para gurustvam hi paramishti gurustvaham. One who initiates a disciple by giving the mantra is the guru. The mantra itself is the parama guru, superior guru. O Parvati, you Parvati are para guru, the supreme guru, and I, Shiva, am paramishti guru, or the eternal guru. Right? Very simple thing. And so by doing this, Om Aim Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha, Om Aim Parama Guru Bhyo Namaha, Om Aim Parampara Guru Bhyo Namaha, Paramishti Guru Bhyo Namaha, we're also, you're covering the full gamut of spiritual life right there, right? The full thing, right? From the highest realization, the highest reality, to it's our attempt, our holding on to something, that reality and come into our little world, right? The infinite consciousness, the infinite reality, the infinite realization appearing as something we can think about, something we can say, something we can recite, something we can listen to and contemplate. That's a great mystery. That's the whole science of it. This is that, and so within the mantra itself, and the one who gives them is the infinite. But it puts us this Guru Pranam section of the puja. When we did the Sankalpa, we mentioned where we were, right? I mean, elaborate, and where and when we were, right? Puts us in where we are in cosmic geography, and when we were in cosmic time, right? This also puts us someplace where we are in a spiritual lineage. We're also, that's one of the places way we organize ourselves. We tune ourselves. Our GPS has to use all these factors to know where we are, and like this, right? We also find ourselves, we're sitting here, I'm sitting here talking, you're here and listening, or you're sitting, or I'm here and doing puja, you're in your home doing puja. Or it is in a particular moment, in a flow of time and space, and in a particular place, in a lineage, or in a river parampara is a river of grace. Right? We've talked about this before, one very beautiful, one of Thakur's disciples mentioned, one of a very beautiful understanding of diksha, of initiation, is that how to say, I read maybe Krishnadas even wrote something that the guru line is not just a lineage of gurus, it's a lineage of disciples. Right, it's a disciplic. Sometimes, like Prabhupada translates it as disciplic succession. It says Guru Parampara means lineage of gurus, but he translates disciplic succession, lineage, or a succession of we going up where we go from guru to guru to guru to guru to guru, but it's actually from disciple to disciple to their disciple to their disciple to their disciple, right? And so that's a very interesting thing, because then disciples, what's the qualification of disciple? The qualification of disciple, ideally, there's many qualifications listed that we should try to develop, but the simplest one that we have to have is sincerity. If we're sincere, we approach somebody that has hopefully some knowledge, or at least some authority to pass on a mantra or a tradition like this, right? And so what's our qualification? Sometimes there's real qualification. There's mentioned, even the Shastra mentioned very important qualification. I won't mention now, we'll all get discouraged and we'll stop listening. It's very discouraging. The qualifications for a disciple. Right. But I like this one qualification. If we're sincere, then somebody overlooks our disqualification or our lack of qualification and says, oh, but he's sincere or she's sincere. Right? So the person of mercy and compassion, right, gives something out of compassion. And so the quality of the disciple ultimately, or the disciple has all these qualities, and the guru should have all these qualities, right? I can list those too. We'll get to the guru section, maybe we'll list those. That's an interesting point to remember. We've talked about it before, also in Guru Purnima and the like. But the real quality is that one person has sincerity and the other person has mercy, right, towards somebody who has sincerity. And so our gurus they saw we had maybe some sincerity, hopefully, and they, out of mercy, they gave us something maybe we didn't deserve. And maybe they're even disobeying the scriptures and doing, right? I mentioned like that. Like one of the things Shastra says, I'll give it a direct quote: "Don't make many disciples." Right? The scripture says to the gurus, "Don't make disciples." That's the instruction. Don't make many for sure, but don't make any. That's the first point. If you're going to make some, make one. That's what sannyasi is supposed to make, one disciple. More than that, already disobeying the scriptures is sin, and sin requires suffering, punishment. Right? And you see, many gurus have a lot of disciples, and they suffer. Right? They suffer the karmas of their. We believe they suffer in the karmas of their disciples. Could be, or they suffer the result of having so many people to be responsible for. They can't think about their own spiritual life anymore. All kinds of things happen, as a result of this. Right? But you can see there's a reason why I said don't make many disciples. Right? But even we have some sincerity, hopefully, and they're disobeying the lineage and teachings and scriptures because of their mercy and our sincerity. So that's great, Jai Guru. We can be eternally grateful to our Guru for this, right? What about their Guru? Why were their initiation? Oh, but they had so many, and we think, oh no, I am fallen like anything. I'm the worst. I'm the most. But my Guru's so great. The Guru Gita says, my Guru is the Guru of the world. My Guru is my Lord. It's like there's nobody greater than my Guru. Even Shiva bows to my Guru. There's verses like that, right? But chances are he or she was maybe hopefully at a better starting point than we start. But what was his or her qualification when he approached or she approached was his or her sincerity, sincere longing, like this, shraddha, faith and longing and sincerity, right? And their guru had compassion and appreciated and gave mercy, and they had faith, shraddha, faith, sincere longing, and their guru gave. So the lineage is a lineage of authority and experience and knowledge. But it's also the authority of overlooking all that. It's a lineage of mercy, right? It's a river of grace. Krishna, that's why I'm remembering Krishna said. So he uses that term, river of grace. And so sometimes I think when you step into a lineage, when you connect with a lineage, parampara, disciplic succession or guru lineage, right? You're stepping into a river of grace for sure, right? But you're also stepping into a river of tradition. Right, and also that's how tradition is passed down through this medium of grace, right? And river of tradition. And so there's one, I think maybe Rampuri made the comment. I think about this a lot, that it's passed down through both the teachings, the higher teachings and the intimate teachings, the direct teachings, and the mantras especially, or the mantra especially, right? The Diksha mantra or the Mula mantra. It's passed down from mouth to ear. That's ultimately how it's. There's other ways to pass down Shakti and blessings. There's different types of diksha like that. But generally, it's passed down through either instruction or a mantra or the teachings from mouth to ear. From the mouth of somebody of great authority, right, and to the ear of somebody of great sincerity. That combination is very, very. This is the way. That's how we enter that's how these things have come down. And now the tendency is it's like everything's available online. Even this talks will be available online. Hi, Facebook, right? So we're talking in a very general way, right? But so now there's no need for a lineage. People feel there's no need for a lineage. People feel there's no need for tradition, right? Oh, I got the teaching. We can look it up. You just Google it. I always joke, Google coolsecrettantricmantras.com and wow, cool secret tantric mantras. They're out there. Right, yes.
So we had 10 people taking Diksha when I was a kid, and then we all were 4 brothers at least, like we could share.
Yes, yes.
So they whispered in our ear.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then we thought it was a secret, and
Yes,
the other
yes.
guy got a different one.
Yes,
And
yes.
then later on, when we discussed, all had given a same
Yeah.
mantra.
So it's a matter of not of same or secret or different. It's still given one-on-one.
Yes.
So it's not even that some mantras are considered like secret because they're esoteric and have to be protected a little bit, but actually secret, not secret, they're private, right? It's like you can imagine. I mean, I hate to be like, but like if you see a loving married couple, right? You don't have to imagine. You know that they're romantically involved and intimately involved like that, but still, that's their business.
And consciously,
Yeah. So we know, but we don't interfere. We know people are roughly doing roughly the same thing, but that's between each. There's a relationship. So relation between guru, between guru and disciple is a private relationship, intimate relationship, not necessarily a secret relationship. But the way it is, like anything, if I tell you something even privately and you tell somebody, even though it's not a secret, it doesn't seem right to tell something you told somebody in private, even if it's not in secret.
Maybe
right?
when you say that it's a secret, then you're more consciously.
It can be, but the danger of that, it can be, but there's a danger also is that it becomes like, you think, I'm very special, and so some of you can understand anything that's secret is throw away. Knowledge should stand. If something is true, state it. But still, the mantras he got and the mantra that he told privately, But say if it's spiritual knowledge, state it openly, right? It's all this mystical height and everything has made a whole pollution of everything. It brought up all this priestcraft, all kinds of garbage has happened because everybody's secret knowledge. Knowledge is knowledge. What did he do? He took stuff that was secret in the Vedas and proclaimed it on stages, right? And changed the world because of this. That's why one of the reasons we're here, is because of this bold thing. Swami Shivananda, he wrote this book. He wrote many books. One of his best books was called Japa Yoga, right? It's a classic book. It's called Comprehensive Guide to Mantra Sadhana or something like that, right? It's an incredible book, right? But in it, there's a lot of great instructions on how to do japa. There's some basic details because everybody we feel we should do japa, even though some people are initiated but still don't know what to do, or just take a name of God and try to know what to do. But so that he gives that advice and he glorifies holy name and japa and gives much advice. But he also has pages where he just lists all kinds of mantras. He was critiqued for this, right? He was part of an Orthodox community. He's a South Indian Brahmin, right? And he was critiqued by other people of his own family lineage like this. He says, no, let it be. Of course, this is before coolsecrettantricmantras.com, right? But at least they were in a book by Swami Shivananda. And there you're also getting tradition. It's his great mercy, the idea that people of sincerity will find this book. And out of his great mercy, he gave these things, right? If there's a sin, he says, let it be a sin. So many people, including me, were influenced by this book, right? So, this is a great mercy. Once again, you're breaking, like taking many disciples, you're breaking the rule out of mercy, right? Even though you may, Swami Shivananda suffered, he was criticized in his own life by people who didn't have the qualification to criticize him, right? Right, but still, he did it out of compassion, And he says, let it be. But still, a few mantras he mentions, like in the Sri Vidya. He mentions the Sri Vidya mantra. He doesn't give it, right? Gayatri he gave, and all these bij mantras. He gave a whole list of bij mantras. Let there be proper knowledge. It shouldn't be mysterious. Let it be known. Let it be known properly, right? But still, there's some things that are also his family tradition. That he didn't. He left a few things out, but he still mentioned them. But he still left them out. Interesting, What time is it? Parama Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Aim Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Aim Parama. So this mantra Aim, we'll go into it as we get to the Guru section. Aim is called I mentioned last week that Bij mantras, I'm speaking them because we're describing them. But they're used in puja and used in japa. They're usually not used in discussion, in casual way. Even they're not written. Many books in the tantras themselves, they're not written directly. They're given a hint. And it says the Vak Bij or Vach Bij. Or Saraswati Bija, like that, and then that means that when you're composing, Omkara was Vak Bij, was Saraswati in the vocative, and I bow to it at the end. So that means Om Aim Saraswati Nama. By the mantra, by the way it's described. It's never really written, right? Because even if it's sometimes it's in a code and you don't know what the mantra is. You can only guess what the mantra is. You have to know the code, or you have to be initiated to the mantra, and then now I realize. Or sometimes it's there, but it's still not. It's out of respect for the mantra. They give it in code form. So this mantra is called the Vak Bij or Vach Bij. It means for the goddess's speech, and Saraswati's Rupa. More than Saraswati, this is the goddesses of speech, the matrikas and the like, right? The presiding deities of the consonant, the syllables or letters, you could say, matrikas. So it's in popular Hinduism we consider her Saraswati. And what is Saraswati? Saraswati is mantra. Saraswati is Veda, right? Knowledge, scripture, music, right? Saraswati is everything at its very refined. Knowledge, mantra, and culture. Very refined, right? Saraswati, she dresses in white. She holds the Vedas, a classical instrument that's very difficult to tune, and a crystal mala. Sound at its most pristine. Knowledge at its most pure, at its most original, like this. And so the guru, we use it, of course, for Saraswati. Saraswati is main Bij mantra, but we also use it. There's other mantras used for the guru also, but we use it for guru for the same purpose. Because the guru is Saraswati's vehicle. Because the guru gives mantra, gives culture, gives training, gives subtlety, gives knowledge. These are all the realm of Saraswati. So the mantra we use for guru in some pujas, in the Bengali form especially, is this. Sometimes there are certain Bij mantras like that. There's also another way of generating a Bij mantra, because a sound gives rise to a word, right? And so the first sound of a word gives rise to the rest of the word, right? And so some books you'll see Om Gam or Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Om Gum Gurubhyo Namaha, right? So Gum, that's just the first word for guru, right? So that from the G sound comes guru, right? So that's also, sometimes you'll see some books will say Om Gum Gurubhyo Namaha or like this, right? But here it's used in the Bengali Tantra, it's given this way, this speech mantra is given. And then over the left here, Om Gam Ganeshaya Namaha. And then there's different, according to exact lineages, it's changed a little bit. The way we do it, then we do Om Aim, because we're the temple here in our tradition, the ultimate guru, whoever our individual guru is, Ramakrishna is the guru. Om Aim Sarva Deva Devi Surupaya Sri Ramakrishnaya Namaha. And then also Parameshti Guru, the real Parameshti Guru is the Divine Mother herself, we say. So when there's the mantra for the Devi. So this is a way of saluting, so it puts us in this in tune. Also, it's putting us, we're bowing. We're doing puja in like, now I'm going to do puja. We're going to do puja, We actually, the mood of a sadhak, of a disciple, is that we're doing puja, we're assisting the guru in doing puja, right? We're in a lineage and we're doing, and actually one of the mantras, I'm forgetting just now, but there's a Bengali song or Sanskrit song, Bengali-based song, that says that the one of the duties of the guru is to engage the disciple in worshipping the deity, is to into doing puja. This is a worshipping. Could be literally like this. I mean, elaborately, but that's the duty, engage. And to the disciple thinks, I'm being engaged. I'm assisting. Right, and so this is why we do Guru Puja first. Sometimes a lot of puja books say they do the Ganesh Puja first. Ganesh is always, but we do Guru even before Ganesh, right? Because the idea is that first we worship, then we're doing everything in Guru's name. Sometimes there's a mood, the Vaishnavas, they tend to think, everything they offer, first they offer to the Guru, and the Guru offers. Like you don't offer to Krishna, you offer to Guru, Guru offers to Krishna. Right, that's a way, kind of ascending process, right? Or sometimes you offer to Krishna and then you offer the prasad to Guru, descending process. But there's different bhavas that are there. We start with Guru. We start with Guru. The Guru opens the way. Also, Guru sadhu like this. We mentioned this in the past, that they're even the gatekeepers, right? They're the door, right? They're into a tradition, into a lineage, into a sadhana, into a mantra, into a lineage. So a gatekeeper, the gatekeeper has guru, and so what nowadays you have gurus on tour, right? And they're on tour, and everybody come in. But a gatekeeper is not somebody who lets people in. Gatekeepers also keep people out. That's also their function. It's both. They're protectors of a tradition, right? And so so we have to be conscious that we're by their grace, by His grace, by her grace, we're that knowledge comes down to us and we're allowed in, but we're also, without their grace, we're not allowed in. Right? And all of a sudden we're wiggling our fingers, throwing water, chanting mantras, and there's nothing. Right? We haven't got. We're not there. Just because you can sit outside of a club and sing and dance, right? Hearing the music, but you're not in the club. You haven't been let into the club. Like, we got it. It looks just like it, right? Just like Ravana. Ravana grabbed Sita and stole her, right? According to Tulsidas, he never touched Sita. Chaya Sita, right? The shadow Sita. He can, because Ravana can never touch Sita, right? Of course, Rama can touch Sita, but no, not only Rama. Hanuman can touch Sita. Sita's children could touch Sita. Sita's parents could touch Sita. Those whose love and devotion, the proper relationship, they could touch Sita. But Ravana could not touch Sita, even though he thought he had her. He had the semblance of Sita, right? This has been given as a big thing. This happens in puja, it happens in kirtan, it happens in mantra, it happens in many things. We have the shadow of the thing. It looks just like the thing. We're sitting outside dancing, but we're not. We never got in the front gate, right? It's like and the result. But just even the shadow is so auspicious that it still transforms you, right? Even people without knowledge of what they're doing with sincerity or even insincerity. People doing yoga with exactly the wrong reason. Still, there can be an awakening. People singing kirtan with the exact wrong reason. There can be an awakening. Even the shadow of the thing is so powerful. Powerful enough to Ram to spend months of his life and tremendous energy to go save her, the non-Sita, right? Right. So, right. It still has power, right? But so, anyways, this proper attitude towards Guru and the Guru lineage is a way in, and like this, and the way, and also keeps us out. That's pretty good. In an hour and 15 minutes, we got verse. So next section is Kada Shuddhi. Kada Shuddhi. Another purification. Shad Shuddhi or Kada Shuddhi means hands. Right? Kada Shuddhi. And so, of course, first thing you do is like, wash. I remember when we were first, you remember when Haradan and Pranab came in, everybody walked in, go wash. Go washing. The first thing, washing. For everything, we go and wash our hands. For everything, wash our hands. Right? Because that's when we don't even, it's simple. That's not high purity rules. That we really don't. I mean, like how many, if I got the statistics, how many people die every year because of colds? Because people don't, only because people don't wash their hands. Just like colds. Many people die. It's like hundreds of thousands of people in America die because they don't wash. People don't wash their hands enough. We shouldn't get neurotic about it. That's not what I mean. People wash their hands too much. But a lot of people, most people's problem is they don't wash their hands enough, right? And so why is it? Because the hands are the main thing, right? If you can't take if you can't take a full bath before, at least go wash your hands, and then like the minimum thing is you wash your hands before dealing with people, or after touching something dirty, you wash your hands, or before touching something clean, wash your hands. That's the two ways, right? When you're impure, you may not take a full bath. Oh, I'm dirty. I'll wash my hands, then I'll deal with that. Or I'm going to do something clean. Wash your hands and do something clean, right? Before eating, you wash your hands, and after going to the bathroom, you wash your hands. Same thing. Before doing something pure, or after doing something impure, you wash your hands. And the hands represent the whole body. There's an astral reason also. Of course, the hands literally look like a body. You have the head, the two arms, so it's a symbolic type of thing. But also the hands also represent the five elements, right? Therefore the five chakras and the five elements. So the ring finger represents water element. Even in India now, you do this to somebody, they tell you where's the bathroom. To urinate, you do this, and they go, this means urinate. Yeah. You do this, and you just have to do this, and you have to round back anywhere. That's you know what it means, right? Right. This is but because it's entered popular culture, right? The pinky is water element, which means the second chakra, right? The ring finger is root chakra, the earth element. Yeah, I have to do a mudra. There's a mudra that I can copy. I have to do a mudra. Remember, earth element, which means Muladhara chakra. The middle finger is space element, which means throat chakra. Right. This the pointer finger is air element, which means heart chakra, where the lungs are. I think like that. Right. The thumb is fire element, which is the third chakra. right? So by doing things with your full fingers, you're actually doing things to the full body, the full chakra system, right? Representing the full limbs of the body, the star pattern of you've seen that famous drawing of Leonardo da Vinci, like the man is, you can see the star shape of the human species, shown. But also it's the elements that can make up our body, right? So the clean hand means clean body, right? And it says I don't have the verses, but I memorized the verses, but I can't tell you the source of it. But there's a mantra that says, when the hands are clean, anything you touch becomes clean. If the hands are dirty, anything you touch becomes dirty. It's common sense, right? But it's true in puja. If your hands are clean, then your things that you're doing, but if your hands are dirty, everything you touch becomes dirty. It makes sense, right? And so this Kali Shuddhi, you take ultimately means wash your hands or sprinkle your hands. We always have Ganga water here. Purify your hands with Ganga water. We do like this, right? Then there's also we put back to kusha grass. We make a kusha ring called pavitra ring that also purifies and like that. Then there's also, this is a South Indian kusha called the pavitra ring, right? Revealed in ancient times to some brahmana. That I think Kartik Adikeshav, I don't remember the full story. He knows the full story, but it looks like something knotted, and it's all almost like an Irish knot. That's kind of like very snake-like and knot-like, right? But it's like tying of the thing. And it's believed that anything is the same. It becomes the same as having a pavitra ring, and therefore everything you touch becomes pure, right? It's a way of, and also to think, even thinking whether or not, my habit of not washing my hands enough, but I have a ring, it's okay. Right? But also you put your mind towards purity when you think of these things. When you think of a kusha grass, when you put a kusha grass thing, they're very uncomfortable to do puja with kusha grass ring. Right? Maybe it's purifying everything you touch. Right? Or maybe thinking about it is purifying everything you touch. Right? Holy Mother said, Thakur said, purity and impurity is in the mind. Right, there was a thing where Holy Mother's Brahmin cook, a bird went to the bathroom on it, a crow on him, right? And Holy Mother, just wash it, it's fine, right? No, but Brahmin cooks, they're hired because they're very strict. They hired Brahmin cooks, right? No, he wouldn't do, or she, I forget, it must be he, wouldn't do. It's okay, just wash it and sprinkle Ganga, and then he said, okay, go to the Ganga, sprinkle Ganga water, and cook. It's getting late. No, how can I do like that? And then Holy Mother said, just touch me. Now you're pure, now go. Right? Of course, she had the ability to purify everything, but she also said, wash it to be you're pure enough, and sprinkle Ganga water, you're pure enough. But finally, the man accepted that touching Holy Mother would make him pure. Purity is in the mind, impurity is in the mind, ultimately. All right, you can see. Yeah. So one of the devotees, his little brother, and he was, a little kid, diaper age type of child, right? And when the friend who I'm talking about was super strict on muchi, suchi stuff, cleanliness and uncleanness, and he made some comment, oh, he's unclean, and the grandma, hey, what are you talking about? A little boy like that's always clean, right? There's nothing impure. In a certain sense, the boy has no idea of purity and impurity. Right, and so also we don't think the same way with children. It's like, I have to. Every time you touch your child, children are not like clean. It might no sense, but they're pure, and purity is more important. So even that, we tolerate more with children. Like the kid, all of a sudden the kid will run and jump on the shrine. Like we kind of laugh out. The parents, oh my God, they're embarrassed. They get the kid and drag it off the shrine. It's okay. What do we do? But if the parent goes on the shrine, we're like, Usha screams at them, and then we spray everything with Ganga water, and we make him feel really bad, and I make him feel really bad about it, like trying not to do it again, right? Because it's a different thing. They should know better, and they do know purity and impurity, and they do know better. They're trying to get away with it, like this. So the way we do it in the puja we do, this isn't mentioned in Tantra Shastra, where we take a flower, very tantric, deeper thing, but you take a flower, you dip it with the right hand, you dip it in some sandalwood paste. Sandalwood paste is always pure also, it's another thing. It's the purest of substances. That's why everything we offer is touched with sandalwood paste, not just for the smell, because it's an extremely pure item, right? We touch with sandalwood paste, and you roll it on your hand, you chant some mantras, and you roll it on your head. There's a whole ritual thing, and then you smell it, and you like this, and then the very end, you hold something in this one mudra, and you put it on one shoulder, right, and then you throw it behind you on another around your thing, and this is the idea that you reach into like a quiver of arrows,
very, very astral type of thing or mental thing. And you take the arrow, and then you take that arrow. Now you've charged the arrow, you've loaded it, right, with all the sin and dirt and all the astral stuff you've removed from your hands and smelled and rolled and everything through this tantric method into the flower, right? You take it and then you throw it. And where do you throw it? Over your left side is where inauspicious things come. This is the enemies come from behind you on your left side. We have protective deities. Shaktas have protective deities on behind them on their left side, right? Like Patangirada and Shinga and like this, right? That's where they are hiding behind us. What we do, so what do? We take that thing and we throw it. And the idea that it becomes like a charged weapon, and it gets thrown on, and it falls on the head of our enemies. Now, whether or not we're like, every time I do this, one of you gets a headache. Oh, what is Swami doing? I didn't mean to piss him off or anything like that. Not like that, right? And enemies are these, and we can take it as internal enemies or astral enemies or spiritual struggles we're going through. But the idea that anything impure, we remove, and then we throw, and let what do you do with it? You use that, like nowadays you wash your hands, you save the water, throw it in the garden, right? Because we're out of, we don't, all that good nasty shakti stuff shouldn't be wasted. We use it to do some good. We throw it on the head of our enemies. The next section is Pushpa Shuddhi, which I think I can do Pushpa Shuddhi, I think. Yeah, that'll take a few minutes. Pushpa Shuddhi. Then we purify the plate of flour. The flowers are used in puja. Already we've offered some flowers. This is the symbolic purification. And of course, we have pure flowers. And flowers are by definition pure. They're the pure, nature's bounty. Nature is always pure, right? And we've washed the flowers. Right? We've chosen good flowers. They have no insect. They have no bad smell. They haven't been chewed on by another animal. There's all these restrictions like that. They shouldn't. And the description, what makes flowers impure, things that if it has an insect, if it's dirty, if it doesn't smell bad, if it doesn't have a smell. Interesting. A flower without a fragrance is considered unclean. Flowers are chosen for their fragrance as much as their beauty. Their beauty is part of it. Actually, there's a very sharp verse that a sadhu or a brahmin without bhakti is like a flower without fragrance. It's all show, right? The essence of a beauty is like. And he says to be thrown away as unclean. That's how we treat it. It's a strong verse, right? Right. It's a metaphor. I mean, it pulls into that sentiment, But the idea that the flower should smell beautiful, they have good fragrance, they should be clean, they shouldn't have no insect, they shouldn't have been eaten, shouldn't been nibbled on or have holes like this, and they should be washed like that. And yet here we're sprinkling in more. So there's more purification that has to happen. What is it that can make flowers impure even after they've been purified? So there's subtle things, perhaps, right? One is they may have been smelled. They have good fragrance. They've been smelled. Of course, smelling flowers you can't say smelling flowers is the bad thing, right? But the thing is, we try to offer things new. We don't taste the food we offer. We offer it and then we take the prasad if there's any left, right? So similarly, we offer without smelling. Of course, we can't, we're on a puja day, the whole house smells like jasmine and rose. I mean, we can't help it, right? But like, Ma, here's for you. And then it's and one thing, nothing's happened, but it seems unclean somehow, right? Sometimes we go to Trader Joe's to buy flowers for puja, and the lady at the counter, immediately, oh, this is so beautiful. And we're like, should we put it back? And we don't. Sometimes I get embarrassed to put it back. Usha puts it back. It's like because it shouldn't be smelled, right? People. But the thing is, you can get like, oh, don't smell the flowers, and you make people feel bad for smelling flowers. Is also not a good thing. That's almost more impure, right? You've ruined it by making somebody feel bad about something, right? But that's one thing. The idea that they've been subtly enjoyed, right? But another thing is like, how did we grow them? How are they picked? Were they picked respectfully? How you pick tulsi is very important. I'm very nervous in India. You go to the flower store and you ask, oh, tulsi patra? Yes, they're going to put a bunch in your bag and patra. And the way they stuffed the tulsi in your bag, it wasn't. They picked it the same way. They just rip it off the plants. Like going, is this the puja? It's like having a deer skin that's been hunted. That doesn't feel. Maybe it's necessary. So we can't not have tulsi. And tulsi is always pure like that, but it doesn't seem right somehow, right? So maybe it's not picked properly. Also, it's picked for a lot of flowers. We grow our own flowers mostly, but during time of the year we have to buy flowers, right? So it means they're being sold for profit. That itself is already something not so pure. It pollutes it, right? And then the money we're using, did we make it purely, honestly? That money has an energy, a Shakti, right? Our friends at the Kashmir Shaivite Fellowship, Swami Bhajanananda disciples, when they do puja on a puja day, right, and they send somebody, oh, we need spinach, right, for the sock, right? Okay, and then they call, oh, we need spinach. Oh, yes, I'll pick it up on the way home. No. Come home first. Get the money and then buy it, right? Don't use, the devotees can't use their money. It has to be money that's from the temple, right? Because by being given to the temple, it's been purified. That pure money buys pure vegetables. Right, even though they're trying, it's the same. It's maybe it's just a ridiculous ritual, obsessive thing. But there's a view of this that it also makes something. That's one of the ways. So there's subtle impurities that can be even something pure like a flower, like a plate of flowers, right? And so they're purified, further purified by the sprinkling of water. This is this mantra snan, with sprinkling water with mantra, right? So we go Shat Abhisheka Hung Patsvaha with 1,000 baths. We're bathing it 1,000 times. Right, Sat Abhisheka, or the bath of truth. It means 1,000. Here it means hundreds or 1,000, right? With hundreds of baths, we're bathing the flowers, right? And then it's very beautiful. We touch the flowers lightly, and you go Pushpe, Pushpe, Maha Pushpe, Sup Pushpe, Pushpa Sambhave, Pushpa Chayavakkirane Chahung Patswaha, right? Pushpe, flowers, buds of flowers, piles of flowers, bunch of flowers, right? Every category of flowers, right? All these we purify with the mantra. We mentioned Hung Patswaha last week. Roughly as purify, protect, spiritualize, like that, right? We're purifying with his mantra. Flowers, great flowers, auspicious flowers, buds of flowers, piles of strewn flowers. That's Pushpe, Maha Pushpe. That's Pushpe. Now, Pushpe is many flowers are the flowers. All kinds we have when we're doing puja. We have all kinds of flowers, piles of strewn flowers and flower petals like that. And then internally we have all kinds of flowers within us. We have chakras and the like within us. I promise to finish in 2 minutes. All kinds of flowers. But flowers also represent, what we do, we make our tray for puja. We spend, actually puja doesn't start when you start the first month. It starts when you start cleaning, we start thinking, planning, right? And then you start picking flowers and collecting leaves, and you're washing them and you put them in beautifully on a tray. You're correcting the tray. What's that tray? It's a tray of offerings. Ma's not sitting. Ma's like, maybe she is. I have to be careful not to speak for Ma, right? Maybe Ma. Let me rephrase that. Maybe Ma is thinking like going, I need flowers. Go get flowers. Nobody's about. Maybe it's like that. You know, maybe our earthly Ma sometimes needs flowers too, right? So maybe she does need flowers. Yeah, like that, right? But and of course we think we need to give her flowers. That's more important than her needing flowers. Like a kid picking flowers from the garden and giving them to their mom. That's what we're doing, right? And she said, "Oh, great! You picked my flowers. Oh, thank you." You know, sometimes we go out and anyways, but what that preparation is that preparation. What we're gathering things to offer, right? And so and then it says when we sprinkle the wine, then we touch the flowers lightly. Pushpe, you've probably seen us do pushpe, maha pushpe. You touch the flower, you touch everything lightly. I think I've not read, but in my own meditation, I think this is significant. Right, because the things that we're gathering, the things of this world that we're gathering for worship, they're touched lightly, right? And of course, I saw recently a documentary with the violently destructive characters of hummingbirds, right? the world, if you're smaller than the hummingbird, the hummingbirds are monsters, you know. But anyway, I like the idea of hummingbirds and bees. What do? They go from flower to flower. Gandhi made this example. Right, like a hummingbird or a bee, madhukari. A bee goes from flower to flower and just touches, barely touches, right? Takes a little here, a little there, barely touches, and not only that, it pollinates. It actually leaves it better than it left that. This is the way it gathers. It gathers honey. Madhukari means it's making honey. It gathers from many sources, barely touches, leaves the things to their benefited, and from that makes amrita, honey. Right, so this is to me is also a way we can live how we do our puja. We gather carefully, lightly, right, and the best quality things, and this way we're creating something divine, right? There's a mantra of Abhinavagupta, I believe. I didn't grab that one. I know where to find it. So maybe next week I'll show you. But it describes that Lord Shiva has all these devis that are only serving him, right? And the Devis are the senses. They're the presiding deity of the senses. So the eyes are Devi, and the only purpose of the Devi is to serve Shiva, right? With the self, right? So it runs out looking for beautiful things to gather to give Shiva, to bring beautiful things to our awareness, which is Shiva, right? And the tongue lashes out, running everywhere looking for wonderful tasting things in order to worship Shiva, who is the experiencer. Worship the experiencer with experience. The sense of touch, looking for pleasant touches in order to So this is also, to me, the gathering of the tray of flowers is even all the things we're collecting. These are things that are meant for the pleasure of Ma, or even deeply spiritual thing. Right. So every experience is like this, gathering of flowers. And then also in simple texts and commentaries on these things, the flowers represent all the things. They represent our love and devotion. Right. So when we offer flowers, what is it? We want to worship Ganesha. We do Etakanda Pushpe, Pusisvegam flower, we worship Gam Ganeshaya Namah, we worship Ganesha. Right. The flower may be Ganesha's, yay, I got a flower. Right. But also, what else can we do? We want to offer our love and devotion to Ganesha. And flowers are our traditional way, the beautiful way, sattvic way, right? The auspicious way, right? Fragrant way, perfect symbol in so many things. But it becomes a vehicle for our attention, our devotion, our meditation. With that, I lied. I'm 2 minutes past my guaranteed stop. So thank you for your kind attention. We'll continue next week, God willing. Tell me? Sure.
I went to after Dada Fair, I went to what is maybe one of his villages in southern Maharashtra, maybe northern Karnataka near that border. And it was a very remote village. Anyways, the fig tree was there.
Yes.
And then they had a temple to him where they had stones.
Yes.
That were his padukas.
Yes. So actually, Dattatreya is always worshipped. That's another thing we can mention. We bring it up during the Guru Puja part. The Guru is worshipped. Dattatreya is always worshipped. Like Shiva is worshipped through Shiva Lingam, right? So Dattatreya is worshipped through the padukas, and therefore the Guru is worshipped through the padukas. The Guru Paduka, and the padukas. Not only maybe he wore them, so they're holy because they touched his lotus feet, right? But the padukas are very significant. They're what the Guru stands upon. It's a tradition, right? The path, right? So that whoever the Guru steps on and then steps off them, and we still worship because it's the path and the teachings and the tradition. So the Guru Paduka is very, very important. We have devotion. Oh, they touched the lotus feet of my great Guru, who's better than everybody else's Guru. My Guru's shoes are better than everybody. That's okay. That's just the way we think. But the deep spiritual reality, this is the very foundation on which the Guru stands. That's what we're worshiping, right? And sometimes the Gurus even step off the path. Sometimes they die and leave but sometimes they even leave the path, right? But the path has still been revealed to us. The Guru Padukas, more Gurus than the Guru. Very interesting thing. So Dattatreya is always worshipped in the Guru Padukas. Jai Guru, Sri Guru Paduka Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om Tat Sat.